Thank you for joining us for the REeBroker Group Builder Training Opportunity for June 2022. I'm Kathy Marcos, the Director of Operations, and we have a lot of information. We try to keep these webinars to about 30 minutes. And so what we ask that you place any of your questions or comments in the chat, and then we'll address those at the end. Next. So one of the first things we wanted to talk about is next week, CAR is releasing some new forms. Some of these have already, they've all been added to the checklist. They won't be required until they're actually released by CAR. So you do want to get familiar with those. If you have any questions about them, we have put a link here to the summary of these forms, as well as you can always reach out to the office as you need assistance with them. Next. Okay, the DRE brought to our attention an issue where one of our agents showed a property to a buyer and left some feedback for the listing agent and seller regarding some political flags that were in the area, as well as felt that because of the political information in that area, it may not be conducive to LGBT or minorities. So the DRE notified us, and we had to reach out to the agent to advise them that this could be potentially steering, blockbusting. Then the Fair Housing Act mentions that we do have to be, you have to steer clear of steering. And so you'll read through this, make sure that you are familiar with the Fair Housing Act, where it's race, color, religion, gender, disability, familial status, or national origin. If they ask about, for example, when a real estate agents do not tell buyers about available properties that meet their criteria or express views about communities with the purpose of directing the buyers away from or certain neighborhoods due to their race or protected characteristic, that could be a Fair Housing Act violation. So if you're not familiar with those, do get familiar with it. It is with the license renewal this year, there's going to be new education as well on that. So there's a lot of focus on that right now. So next. Okay, so here's more information on steering. If a client requests a nice, good, or safe neighborhood, a real estate professional could unintentionally steer a client by excluding certain areas based on his or her own perceptions of what those terms mean. So here's a little Newsday had real estate agents show properties to one white tester and one minority tester, and either African American, Hispanic, or Asian with similar housing needs and financial capabilities. The investigation revealed that in 24% of the cases, the real estate agents directed the white tester into differing communities from the minority tester, suggesting evidence of steering. Next. Okay, so the best practices to avoid steering are to provide clients with listings based on their own objective criteria alone. When a client uses vague terms such as nice, good, or safe, ask impartial questions to clarify their criteria, such as property features and price point. Only communicate objective information about neighborhoods and direct clients to third-party resources with neighborhood-specific information. Learn to pay attention to unconscious bias when evaluating what a client objectively wants. Ask yourself why you have eliminated certain areas if you have. Next. Okay, so we recently had an issue with a transaction that it's not very common, but it can happen. The solar system was not connected to the grid. So they found out right before closing that the seller had not paid the solar for a year. So it was like $2,800, and it was ready for disconnect. And then they weren't aware that it wasn't connected to the grid. So it can be something as simple as a reset, or it could be problems with the panels. So you do want to make sure that they are in working order and they are connected to the grid. Next. Okay. With this changing market, we wanted to bring to you some information regarding leads. There is, if you're not already familiar with short sales and you do want to start to get familiar with those, as well as these websites that we've listed here, are informational, as well as there's potential to get leads from these. So we are registered with HUD. If you are not already registered, then you can check out our agent tools page for more information there. Then if you're going to go with any of the subscription websites, do make sure that you check to see that they're not overselling the leads. Check out their recent reviews prior to subscribing or paying any fees. Okay, next. And then on auctions, these are some of the different types of auctions. There's the absolute auction, which is, this is a standard house auction where the property will be sold to the highest bidder regardless of the final price. It's an absolute auction. There's no minimum bid amount. Then the minimum bid auction is where the seller can set a minimum reserve price on the property, meaning if the highest bid does not meet the reserve requirement, the property remains unsold. Then there's the reserve auction. In a reserve auction, the highest bid becomes an offer instead of the sales price. Once the auction has ended, the seller reserves the right to either accept or reject the winning offer in 72 hours. Next. Okay, so there's pros and cons to auctions. There's potential price break for pro, access to desirable properties, fast and transparent process. Cons would be fierce competition, no time to inspect the property. However, some auction sites may allow inspection prior to the auction date, and it's best for cash buyers. And there's the contingencies can be passive, meaning when the day comes and goes, the buyer's locked in and they could potentially lose their earnest money, as well as the legal complications. The car contract is active, meaning you actively have to remove them in writing. Another thing that we don't mention here is generally commissions are lower on those. If you did a BRE with your buyer, there's the potential to earn additional commission there. If you need more information on that, you can contact me. Next. Okay, how to find auctions, online real estate auction sites, other real estate professionals, the county courthouse, or the real estate classifieds. Next. Okay, and then we wanted to mention bank-owned properties. So if you're not familiar with what a bank-owned property is, also referred to as an REO, and it's a designation given to properties that were not sold during a foreclosure sale and thus added to the foreclosing bank's inventory. Bank-owned properties tend to have low interest rates and low down payments. Buying a bank-owned property may take longer to finalize than a non-bank-owned property. So next. Okay, one of the things on the bank-owned property I wanted to mention was, if you can Google, because like Wells Fargo, all of these big banks have their websites. Sometimes they'll be listed on the MLS, sometimes they won't. So title liens. So the most liens are removed after a foreclosure property sale, but certain liens may remain. So we've created a list here of some of the ones that may remain. So you'll want to go through this list and check on those if they're on title, as well as just inquire about any of these with the seller. Next. Okay. If you are doing any calls, you have to abide by the do not call list requirements, and the company does have to give you permission for that. So if you're interested in that, contact our office and we can give you more information on that. Next. Okay. So next we have Diana Frost with UWM. Our lending division has several different lenders. However, we seem to gravitate towards UWM because of their systems and programs. So she's going to present to you some information. If you want to get, as a real estate agent, if you want to get paired up with the MLO, contact loans at REeBroker.ca.com. And Diana is going to give you more information about their programs.
Thank you so much, Kathy, and we appreciate your partnership so much. I appreciate you giving me the time to just, show you some of the things that we offer that, make partnering with REeBroker the best decision. So go ahead to the first slide, please. So the first thing is speed and service. So here are just a few example of what we call brags that we get from our clients every single day. So we get what, clear to close in 6 days, clear to close even the same day approvals, 1 day approvals. So the average time it takes to close on a property in California, usually about 30 to 40 days. So we are able to close your loans way faster than that. So 14 days or less, closing your loans in record time while making you look like the rock star. Most other times, people are closing one loan. We're able to close three in that same time period, guaranteeing a consistent paycheck for you every single time. By using our tools, our clients are able to take control of their turn times, resulting in same day, 1 day approvals, and really fast CTCs. So I'm going to show you a few other ways of how we do that. So go ahead to the next slide. The first one I want to talk about is our CD at initial. CD at initial is going to allow you to start that cooling off period before your file even gets to CTC. We are able to do this by satisfying the underwriting requirements for appraisal, taxes, and HOI using the document listed, the documentation. So we get, you can use your appraised value, you can get that. You can do an estimated taxes for the loan and your insurance premium. So you can just get a quote. So as soon as that loan is in approved conditions, that CD can be sent out to the borrower so they can acknowledge as soon as possible. The goal is to be able to get schedule the closing as soon as you get that clear to close, because you're not going to have to worry about the cooling off period because it's already taken care of. It's also going to shave about 5 to 8 days off of your sub to CTC. Let's go ahead to the next slide. So, to help alleviate what's been a pain point in our industry for far too long, we've partnered with highly qualified appraisers across the country who share the goal of making that appraisal process work better and faster for everyone involved. Our internal team, called Appraisal Direct, works directly with appraisers across the country to streamline that process and allow for faster appraisals and some of these additional benefits. So, there's going to be competitive fees by county. Appraisers receive that entire appraisal fee collected, and appraisals can be tracked through our appraisal tracker. Let's go ahead to the next slide. So now we have Bolt. Bolt is a self-service portal available on all conventional loans. It's going to allow brokers and LOs to take control of that underwriting process by reviewing and classifying documents associated with their loan. Bolt is going to allow borrowers to get a full income and lender-backed approval in as little as 15 minutes. So a few of the benefits are Bolt loans are escalated to the top of the underwriting queue. This allows transparency on those conditions based on the documents submitted, so you get a complete list of the documents that are going to be needed to take care of and the documents needed for that. Faster CTC and a better borrower experience, and this is going to carry as much weight as a cash offer. We're also looking to expand this to cover all of our government products as well. And go ahead to the next slide. UClose 2.0. I used to be in closing, so UClose 2.0 is one of my favorites. This is a closing portal that puts the LOs in control of the closing process and allows them to collaborate directly with those settlement agents to draw the final closing documents. UClose 2.0 gives you the ability to generate a final closing package and sign within hours of receiving your CTC. This process makes the experience easier for everyone involved. It's going to allow you to track your progress and responsibilities. It literally gives you a checklist, and as soon as you get everything done, you get a nice green checklist. Super easy to follow. Gives you great collaboration on fees and allows everyone to work together, and it's very fluid. The final thing, thank you, I want to talk about is instant funding. So avoid having that awkward wait time when your borrowers are at the table, all the docs are signed, but where's the money? Our instant funding allows funds to be released immediately without an authorization number. So you're going to avoid delays, get immediate access to your funds, just give the borrower a really fantastic experience and ensure your referrals. And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know.
Excellent. Thank you, Diana. Also, that information is geared towards our MLO. So if you are a real estate agent, there is an opportunity for you to assist on some parts of the loan process that you don't need a license for. So visit our agent tools page for loans, and there's some information there that if you have any questions, contact loans@REeBrokerCA.com. All right, next we have Dave and Shelley from California Title Company. Dave, did you want to go first?
Yeah, thank you. First off, thanks for having us back. We really enjoy being on these. And again, we continue to try to bring a different value play to you guys through California Title. Last time we had our meeting, I had talked about a program called Matchmaker, in which we were helping you data mine the off-market properties. And we were guiding you to go online, open a free account. We got a bunch of people that were actually doing it. So that's fantastic. And hopefully that helped out. Again, accessing that data from Cal Title is totally free. But at the end of our call last, I guess a few weeks ago, I had dropped a little tiny bomb on everybody in regards to the potential to transact in cryptocurrency. And this has always been that weird kind of arbitrary space in real estate that we haven't really been able to figure out until now. So California Title has aligned ourselves with a global currency exchange. We have onboarded a very, very long-term 30-year escrow company in San Diego called Southern California Escrow. The owner, Mike Camp, is extremely well versed in the cryptocurrency side. And so I have today with me Shelly Cofini. Shelly Cofini is with VersePay, which is the actual exchange that we have aligned ourselves with. And we wanted to bring you some information. I know there's going to be a lot of questions. I know there's going to be a lot of, mystery around how we do this. So I brought Shelly Cofini today to talk about how currently today, right now, California Title can help you transact another revenue stream in the cryptocurrency space. So Shelly.
Good morning, everyone. Let me pull up my screen here, make sure that everybody can see it. Okay, so today I want to introduce to you VersePay. It is a global payment platform and currency exchange. And I want to talk a little bit about crypto and really how crypto is influencing the real estate market. So last year, 12% of all first-time home buyers actually used digital currency as a form of payment for their earnest money deposit. So 12% nationwide, right? And I think that's a really telling data point on how people are now actively using their crypto coin to purchase products, goods, and services. So, I didn't share earlier, but I want to share one of the reasons why I got involved in this company is because I had a client that wanted to buy a home in Southern California for $7.8 million. And he wanted to use his digital currency to purchase that property. And because a platform like this was not available at the time, it took him almost 6 weeks to liquidate his digital currency, and it cost him almost 8%. So just to give you a sense of the challenges that folks are out there having in the real estate market and how this platform really solves for that. So we're going to talk a little bit about who actually owns coin. When the digital space really came into its being, we'll call it around 2007, largely Bitcoin was the most common coin. There are now 17,000 coins in the marketplace, of which 9 are actively being traded and are considered to be highly liquid. So we actually trade on those 9 coins in our platform. Other exchanges typically are limited to the top 3. So you can see here that it's millennials, it's high net worth, it's international folks that largely hold digital currency. And in terms of the market size, there's over 300 million wallets that exist in the world. It's a 2 trillion market cap, and on any given day, it's trading around 100 to 150 billion on the exchange. So think of the exchange just like Wall Street, right? It's a currency exchange. Here's where those wallets exist in the world. So clearly, we have a lot of folks here in the US that are transacting and using digital currency. And here's a breakdown of the demographic, right? So we are seeing that any big ticket item, so real estate, cars, watches, yachts, planes, travel, are all sectors in the market where folks are using their digital currency to transact. So one of the issues with digital currency, as witnessed by what has occurred in the last month, is really just the volatility. So one thing that our platform solves for is it eliminates that volatility when transacting. So from start to finish, when a consumer confirms their wallet on our platform, they can transact in under 5 seconds with the confirmation. Other exchanges may take several hours to confirm that transaction, which exposes the consumer to that market volatility. So I'm not going to do a deep dive on the market volatility. Your team will be able to share with you some of the historical data around the movement of digital currency. What I really want to dive into is how does this play into real estate? So one of the things that we have set out to do in partnering with companies like California Title and other local escrow companies is equipping them for the ability to allow for a consumer to transact in real estate using digital currency. And so the first step in this process is understanding who the customer is. So we call that KYC AML. These are banking regulations, know your customer, anti-money laundering. So that process, no different than what escrow and title already do, right, which is confirming where that money's coming from, is that we're just simply validating that they own the coin was obtained lawfully, and that they've held that coin in their wallet for a period of time. And once that confirmation is done, a customer is readily able and available to transact, and that money is actually delivered directly to escrow from our payment platform directly into escrow. And so this is, for the very first time now, a conversation that real estate agents can have, right, with clients that may want to transact with digital currency. So we're wallet agnostic. So, there's lots of different kinds of wallets that hold this currency. Title and escrow receive the money directly. So when somebody's converting, let's say, Bitcoin to US dollars, those US dollars are then wired directly into escrow. The time that the customer wants to do that from start to finish is less than 5 seconds, right? And we're settling directly into a trust account. And as we all know, escrow and title carry the necessary insurance and bonds to protect that money flow. So what makes it really unique is that essentially you now can equip your cryptocurrency holders to essentially write a cash transaction, because the KYC process is less than 5 business days. And then they're able to transact directly into escrow. So whether they're using it for earnest money or for settlement or for both, they can quickly transact directly into escrow or title, depending on where we're located in the country, with a liquid coin of their choice. And I should note that this is also built right on blockchain. And so one of the added benefits of blockchain is that it's immutable, it's secure, right? You can't hack it. So, one of the things that we deal with in real estate quite frequently is wire fraud, right? There's no way to hack this system because the chain itself validates the transaction before and after. And if there's any altering in the chain, the transaction's invalidated. So there's no way to hack, right, the blockchain. And so just to give you a sense of, right, the public notion of cryptocurrency being somewhat nefarious versus it actually becoming commonplace today. And by the way, we're globally, so, restaurants, jewelry stores, yacht brokers, right, jet brokers are all using this platform to open themselves up to a broader customer base. And so that's really, I think, what makes this platform unique, is that now real estate agents can go out and say, by the way, we can actually transact in digital currency. And one thing that I know both David and I have experienced is that when we're out having these conversations, we're both constantly surprised by how many people actually own digital currency and are using it to conduct commerce. And so from a real estate agent perspective, being able to have kind of that first mover advantage in the market and say, yes, we have a team in place that can assist a consumer to take their digital currency, convert it to USD, and use that to buy real estate. So with that, I'd like to open it up to any questions. I think we're running those in the chat.
I think this is a huge opportunity for any agent to go back and look at their sphere of influence and to really have another value play and reach out and start asking the questions. As Shelley said, it's so interesting when you start these conversations because all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I know somebody who has this. Where we've understood is that if you know somebody who has, say, 100,000 in cryptocurrency, they know somebody who has 1 million. The person who has 1 million knows somebody who has 10 million. The people who have 10 million know somebody who has 100 million. So it just continues to escalate, and there's a lot of layers there. We would love to be able to provide this deck, right, Shelley, to
Yes.
you, Kathy, so that you can share it.
Yes.
It looks like we have one question. Is it at the top or the bottom? I think it would be at the bottom. Okay, so that was from inside. But thank you, Kathy, for having us on board. We really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. That was really good information. I actually had a question presented to me regarding the data mining that you presented last week.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that through the access that's provided through CA Title or?
So through California Title for the data mining, if you go to caltitle.com, actually, there's also a crypto button on our website that will help guide you through this process. So we do have a crypto button that will link you to the escrow and to the title company so we can do this. But in regards to the data mining, once you open an account on caltitle.com, you go to, on the main page, it says property info. It will do one of two things. It will prompt you to open an account, which is free for REeBrokers. If you already have an account, you go to more tools. Under more tools, which is right there on the main page, it's called Matchmaker. Again, it's not a dating site for REeBrokers. Matchmaker is a data mining tool that will help us, and we've got the data to show you that right now the #1 properties that are selling are the absentee and the out-of-state owners. So once you go to the Matchmaker, you give us your property indication that you're looking for, submit it within 24 hours. We'll have a farm back to you that will give you all of the absentee owners, out-of-state owners, and the most likely to sell that meet the criteria that you fill out in that form.
Very good. So those of you that are interested, you can watch the video from last month regarding more information about what Dave was talking about. And then I just wanted to mention, there was some questions about the company name, what name to use. We have seen some variations where some people make up names. It is a DRE violation to use a name that's not registered on the DRE. REeBroker Group is the preferred name. And if you do not have a branch license, you do have to use the REeBroker Carlsbad corporate address on any marketing, as we have listed here. The other thing we do have is a marketing guide that's on your agent homepage that will help you keep you in compliance. We've had some, again, DRE violations on that, where some people overlook it, and one agent was fined $2,500 because of not having her DRE license number on her website. So we do have a compliance department that's constantly checking, but you want to make sure you're in compliance before they catch you. So, all right, very good meeting, and thank you for everyone for joining us, and have a great day.
you.